All right, how's it going, everybody? Ecom Tom back with another live for you guys. I haven't done one in about 2 weeks, but we are back. This one's a little bit different than any other live I've ever done before. This might be one of the lives that I don't know the majority of the answers to most of the questions out there, but I'm gonna try my hardest. But the whole point of this live is to bring on an international student to help out other internationals out there that have been trying to get started, might have questions about getting started, really don't know where to get started with dropshipping on eBay. Lukas dropships on eBay, Amazon, has started on Facebook Marketplace, and we will get into all of that. So before we get started, be sure to smash that like button. Let's get it out to as many people as possible. Be sure to ask all your questions as we go. We have a few frequently asked questions that we're going to answer ourselves. Talk for about 10, 15 minutes. And then at that point in time, we're going to go out of our way and answer every single possible comment and question that we have. Also, be sure to say who you are, where you're from, so that we can get an idea of, if your question is, based off an internet, needs an international based answer, basically, and we will go from there. So how's it going, Lukas? Thank you for showing up. This was Lukas's idea as well, which I think was a great idea. I hopped right on it, and we got it out to you guys as quickly as possible. So if you want to introduce yourself a bit, Lukas, and tell everybody who you are and why they would be trusting you with their international dropshipping information.
So my name is Lukas. I live in Bali, Indonesia right now. I'm staying here for 3 years, and I've been dropshipping on eBay since 2017. And as soon as Tom introduced his manual dropshipping course, is when we kind of became, got connected. And I then joined Amazon as well. I have some Shopify stores as well. And right now I'm branching out into Walmart and Facebook Marketplace as well.
Awesome. I do remember right when we did release the manual dropshipping course, you were like one of the first testimonials, or not the first, but in the first couple of weeks of testimonials, and you're like, oh, I'm international and I've been doing this. I was like, oh, wow. Like I still didn't even know very much. And then we did connect later, further down, like probably 6 months ago. And that's when you created the guide for the Udemy training for people.
Exactly.
I'll put that down in the description as well. I forgot to do that. For internationals trying to get started. So before, you can go.
How I started was I got into dropshipping, got some courses, and obviously all of them were taught by Americans, and all of them were saying about how I should use credit cards and to save money and have credit to have a cash flow for buying products. And obviously, essentially, I don't know any other country aside from the US that have credit cards.
I think Canada has very few, but yes. Yeah.
So and obviously as well, I didn't have a US bank account. I didn't have a US PayPal. So I had to kind of figure out all of this by myself. And I think at a point when we connected I've already had most of it figured out. And then I just suggested to make a course for internationals to tell them how to set up their companies, how to open up a US bank account from abroad, how to get started and get tax exempt as well.
Yeah, and it's definitely very helpful. I watched the whole thing and I learned stuff from it, I'm not going to lie, mainly because I never had to do it before. So where are you from? And I think I forget, where are you from originally before?
The Czech Republic.
Okay, I did know that. All right. So awesome. So let's get into some of the first frequently asked questions. Of course, guys, ask your questions as we go on. Be sure to smash the like button and we will get to them. We have, 4 or 5 questions that we'll get to, maybe a bit more, and then we'll go from there. So I had Lukas write out pretty much the majority of the questions that he gets asked, the main frequently asked questions. And the first one is, as an international, do I need an LLC to drop ship on eBay/Amazon?
Right. So technically you don't. You can go without it. You can drop ship with, I know people that drop ship with PayPals from the Philippines and so on. But it doesn't really make sense to do that because you're competing against so many people who are US based and they have much better margins. So you just have to, it doesn't make sense for you to essentially having to find items that have 25% margin just so you're profitable.
Yeah.
It's, let's say if you have, if I would be dropshipping with my Czech PayPal, I would be paying around 5% on each transaction, as opposed to 2.9% if I have a US PayPal. And then every single time money gets sent to my PayPal, if I want to take it out from the PayPal, I need to withdraw it to my check bank account, which I would then have to pay currency conversion fees, and I would have to convert the money at a terrible rate because PayPal is taking always too much money. So it doesn't really make sense to do that without an LLC, especially if you want to dropship in the US.
So then the majority of your money or the majority of your profits, if you don't have an LLC, then, so you're saying create an LLC in the United States.
The main thing also is that without an LLC, you cannot get tax exempt, which is another about 7% on each transaction that you on each bill that you have.
That's probably that's just as big as the currency conversion in my eyes.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only platform I've seen so far that's decent to that you don't even need to get tax exempt on is Facebook Marketplace. But as that gets more competitive, I would say, it only makes sense to get tax exempt. Let's be honest. It's good if you just get started, but you want to at least try to go towards getting tax exempt. And if you don't have an LLC or some form of business, doesn't have to be an LLC.
Yeah. What about another big issue is you cannot really work with any wholesale suppliers if you don't have a US entity as well.
Yeah, that does make sense. What about the whole ITIN thing? This is like my own question because everybody's like, oh, an ITIN and it's an international tax ID number, I believe. But what does that mean compared to getting an EIN as an international? Or do you get
an EIN? I don't have ITIN. You don't have to have it, especially if you're a dropshipper. Essentially, you only need to get it if you're required to file a personal tax return.
Okay.
Which, if you're following the this model, if you don't have any employees in the US, you don't have a physical presence, and so on, you don't have to have it. Some companies still require it. For example, I know from some people, PayPal asks for ITIN. I was never asked for ITIN. So I guess it really depends. But even if you do get it, you still don't have to pretty much do anything about it. It's just a thing to get if you need it. If you don't need it, it's fine. But yeah, I've been dropshipping without it for 3 years now. So
okay, all right, that makes sense. So we already kind of answered the second question, which are what are the benefits of having a US-based LLC? Do you have anything else to say? It was tax exemption, being able to apply for wholesale suppliers. Anything else? Well, and being able to set up like a business and
I think we pretty much went through everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lower fees, tax exemption.
Yeah. So I guess the third question here is how much does it cost to get a US LLC? And that's definitely depending on where you get it. But what's your also, none of this is like legal tax advice for anybody out there. But if it's international, I guess I probably couldn't even get in trouble for it. I don't know. But just throwing that out there. So how much does it cost?
So as Tom said, it really depends on where you get it. It starts as low as $150 if you want to do it more hands-on and if you want to do a lot of the work. If you want to have it hands-off, it can be around $400. And then if you approach an international tax attorney, it can be $3,000. So
oh God,
to yourself.
It sounds like a fancy way to get a lot of money. International tax attorney. So that makes sense. It's pretty much, I've always made all mine hands-on and done it myself, but I don't know if I was, there's those services like the Wyoming, whatever LLC and stuff like that. And it'll say like international needs like this paperwork and stuff. Seems
exactly.
Like
I think we have the same agent, honestly, because I think I saw inside of your courses, I think you have the address. I think we have the same
probably. Every single address is the same. Those different agents, like all just have a different suite letters. So like we have two different ones, Jason and I's joint one, and then like my own personal one. And I'm like suite R, but then like our joint one is like
the same one. Yeah.
Okay. Then our joint one's suite S. So I think we signed up through a different one. We're like, probably just clicked the wrong link. We're like, oh damn. But it's the same place. It doesn't truly matter that much. So everyone, people, like I got a wholesaler sent me like a 3-ring binder the other day to my LLC address. And I was like, oh, like I don't know what it is. And then I had to pay like $30 to get it shipped to me. And it's this massive, just like product binder. I was like, you could have just sent that to me in a PDF for free. But you don't always know. So the next question here is, am I going to be double taxed if you are international?
So you won't, as long as, like I said, you follow the certain criteria and you don't have employees in the US, you don't have a physical presence, and you don't have any dependent agent. This translates to like having somebody specifically working for your company and making sure that, is employed by you and furthers your business in the United States. As long as you follow all these, you're not subject to US tax, and you will not pay any business income tax in the US.
That makes
separate from sales tax, it works, in a different way. But it will be double taxed as long as you follow the things that are also in my course.
So then you're taxed where you live, obviously, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you pay any tax to the Czech Republic?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the taxes when you live in different countries, honestly.
Exactly. It gets complicated, but as long as you follow these principles, essentially you don't have to tax in the US. That makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah.
So you just talk to the accountant in your country and you ask them for counsel, and it's much easier to do it that way.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. So pretty much the next question is, I'm from country XYZ, fill in the blank. Can I do it too? Can anyone open a US based LLC or business or anything like that?
So this gets a little bit complicated because anybody can open a US LLC, meaning you can definitely, get LLC for certain reasons. But if you're from specific countries, you will not be able to open a bank account from abroad. And that includes some countries in Africa, some North Korea, obviously. I have the list on.
I don't think that they're on this live.
Just so you make sure you're the right fit. Iran is there, Iraq as well.
Isn't it like Turkey doesn't allow PayPal or something too?
You can get US PayPal, so it's not an issue. But the problem is, if you're from one of these countries, you won't be able to open your US bank account.
Okay.
Which makes it definitely hard, because you kind of need all the pieces to be able to do this seamlessly. So
yeah, it makes sense. So the answer is yes, but if you live in specific countries, then most likely no.
There's not many countries, but like Nigeria, I think, is one of them. So just few countries. If you're interested, on my Udemy site, all the list of countries is listed there, just so nobody signs up who's not really a good fit. So
yeah, that makes sense. And then people will probably still sign up because they didn't read it, but it was there in the first place. So let's just answer the last two that we have on the list, and then everybody just ask your questions. Hold on for 2 more questions, and then we'll get to it. So be sure to smash the like button as well, and we will be right with you. So the next one is, can I open a US PayPal and link Payoneer as my bank account?
Right. So I'm touching on what is commonly done online as well as what I see, and I think the Zik Analytics group is pushing this quite a bit, and that's opening a personal PayPal account and like individual PayPal account and linking Payoneer as your bank. They mentioned this federal something bank that essentially you should be able to link to PayPal. I was never successful doing it, but main thing that I need to point out is that if you do that, you're going against PayPal's user agreement. So because you're not supposed to open a US PayPal if you're not a resident. This is different for a business PayPal, because if you have a US LLC, you qualify. I mean, I've been in touch with PayPal. I verified this, so that's different. But if you're just opening your personal PayPal and you're making up your address in the US, you're faking the phone number and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're going against their user agreement. So I would not really want to risk it, because I was once suspended by PayPal. They told me that I won't be able to move the money out, move money anywhere for that matter. It was a pain, and I'm glad that I got everything set up in the right way since. So
it seems like you're playing with fire at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. I would not want to be in that position, especially if you're depending on the money. It's not a good route to take.
If you're short on it to begin with. All right. So the last one is, can I drop ship with a PayPal registered in my home country?
Yeah, I think we're kind of answering also the same. We answered it in the first question. Essentially, you can, but you'll essentially, the fees will swallow you. The same, the conversion rates, the conversion fees. It does not really make sense.
All right. So moral of the story is try to get everything set up in America, as Lucas teaches in the Udemy course that I will link down below after this. And then, it was like, it's $99 or it's $100.
Yeah. If you message me, I'll give you discount. So it's $99.
All right. So follow also Lucas's, it's what your YouTube and your Instagram are down in the description. So go check those out. If you are an international and you need help, send him a message. I mean, you're always very helpful and responsive on that stuff. So you'll be in great hands. And I've had a lot of people already message me and say that they purchased it and that it was very helpful. So I've never had anybody tell me it wasn't helpful. So that's where I'm at with that. So let's get in some of the questions here. So basically I'm going to click, I can show them across the screen. I forgot that was a thing. So the first one is going to be Kaylin and Angelov says, can we drop ship on Facebook Marketplace in the US from abroad? Really need to know. So we talked about this beforehand. And it's kind of a questionable up in the air type thing, right?
Exactly. So the way I'm approaching this, as any other issues that I had to overcome on my journey, kind of.
Yeah, right.
Partnered up with my business partner who lives in California. She has the shipping option on her profile, so we're going to be using her Facebook profile to list items on and to sell through.
Okay. So at the moment, you're not.
Yeah.
You haven't really figured it out 100% yet.
Yeah, not from my personal profile. That always gets shadow banned. I get like 40 impressions in 2 weeks, which is like worse than eBay flagged account.
Honestly, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I think eventually it's gonna, the code will be cracked. But again, with Facebook Marketplace, it's so new that it's like, even just like figuring out how to do it in the US, there's still some questions that are
essentially this is probably going to be a regular marketplace like eBay or Amazon. There's no reason for them to shadow ban people if they have a warehouse in the US and want to sell there.
Yeah.
It's just in an early stage that, I think.
Yeah, it's like, it's in the stage where it's on its own, but they already have Facebook shops and there's already you can get invited beta program to connect the shop to the marketplace, which you already see people doing it. Once that's like not beta and that's out for everybody.
I think eventually everybody will be able to join Facebook Marketplace. Let's see what their policy on dropshipping is going to be as well. But for now, if you want to do it and do it with no issues, I think you should do it through a US account.
Yeah, and there are ways that you can buy accounts on Facebook, but again, I have no clue. Yeah, and then if they ask you to connect to Social Security to it, which they do, or your information to it, like after you sell $600, I have no clue what to do at that point. So I'm at a loss as well. All right, so we got Lazy Abram here. He shows up to every single live. Thank you very much. He says, yo, how's it going, dude? We got Nikos Manolis here says, how can I drop ship from Greece? Is it in the US from Greece? Is it possible? We pretty much answered this, did we not?
Yeah, definitely possible depending on how you want to drop ship and where. This also, like, the stuff gets different on Shopify as well. I know Tom doesn't cover it really.
Yeah, I don't talk about Shopify.
Yeah, it's but you can definitely do that,
Yeah. I mean, that is one thing where it's like, I feel like there's a lot more internationals doing Shopify and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like at that point, I don't know how to help them because I don't really do Shopify and it's not my thing. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure most people can do Shopify.
Yeah, if you want to dropship in the US on eBay and Amazon, I definitely recommend getting, an LLC, getting a proper setup. And if it's a Facebook Marketplace, like I said, I cannot really tell you how to do it through your own account that is based in Europe. But yeah.
I did buy a Facebook account the other day just to kind of test it. And the dude gave me an account in Mexico. And I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, he's like, oh, it's $10 more for a US account. And the whole website was so sketchy. And I was like, dude, I don't even know how to ask for a refund. I'll just lose the $20. Like, I don't even care. I don't know what to do with this. There's like the sketchiest profile. And I was like, yeah, I'll just leave that. I was in Tijuana. I was like, yeah.
If I do figure out a way how to do it through my own profile, it'll definitely be on my YouTube channel. So you should definitely go and subscribe.
Yeah, go subscribe. So we got Nick Hennick here, says that he's watching from Oregon. How's it going, dude? Thanks for showing up. Jameson Griffith. He actually shows up to every live. Jameson Griffith is on every single Instagram live and YouTube live. I appreciate it. He says, smash that like button. You have to follow what Jameson does because he's on every single live. He knows it. Express Baba says, hi there. How's it going? Their name's Shahid from Birmingham, UK. Nick says, appreciate the live, both of you. Thank you very much. Oh, nice. Lucas was watching your vids. So this person says that they were watching your vids. I still don't know how to pronounce your name, man. I know that you show up. You're on the YouTube lives and you DM me and stuff. No clue. But thank you for showing up. We got Gulf Beach Stroller here. Yo, Ecom Tom, how's it going? Nico says, oh my God, it's Lucas. We already answered your okay, yeah, it is Lucas. LMAO. Strong face. That's who it is. Christian, sup guys? Thanks for the Q&A, Tom, Lucas. So Christian actually has a question. Do you drop ship in your local country as well?
I plan to try it out through Shopify because some of the big print-on-demand companies have their factories inside of Czech Republic. So I want to actually do some print-on-demand Shopify store in there. Other than that, I only drop ship into the German-speaking markets through my Shopify. So,
do you know how to speak German?
No, I don't. But I was doing the customer service as well for it. I don't speak German. That was a fun experience. I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore. But yeah.
That sounds interesting. It's like Facebook Marketplace. There's so many people that message you in Spanish, and then you answer in English, and then they still continue to message you in Spanish. And I'm like,
that was UK as well for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I took 6 years of Spanish. I'm not saying I'm bad at it. I can understand what they're saying, but the response ability is not there. That's why I have to go to Mexico.
I mean, there is if you want to do that, there's Google Translate is obviously quite developed right now, and also DeepL for the main languages. It's a Berlin-based translator. It's a lot more sophisticated than Google Translate. So actually, you can do customer service in a foreign language if you want to.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing, but I also just kind of give up after a while. I'm like, I'm not translating this anymore. We got Ecom Tomcat in the house. Thank you very much for showing up, dude. So I have no clue if you even know this question or if what is the best Shopify theme for general store? Is that a thing? Like, I feel like there's a bajillion Shopify.
I don't have a general store, so I don't know how to answer that. But as well, I want to get back to Christian. He said, if so, why not? The main reason why I'm not dropshipping using Chinese suppliers into Czech Republic is because of the customs. Essentially, delivering packages into Czech Republic would take way too long. So that's the reason why I'm not considering it. That's why actually I'm considering it just for a print on demand that has factory inside of the country. Yeah.
So a lot of the print on demand, like even in there, you said that they're on the Czech Republic, or a lot of them? Yeah.
It's a big American company, and I think I was looking at their warehouses where they ship from in the US and in Europe, and in Europe they're actually based in the Czech Republic.
Oh, so like the ones that are going to Europe or throughout Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that. How do they get it so quickly over the US? But that makes sense.
No, they did.
All right, we got Nikos has another question. Lucas, can you use Revolut to not lose money with PayPal?
No, you cannot really use Revolut to replace PayPal in the first place, and you cannot really link Revolut to PayPal either. So that's not an option.
What is Revolut?
It's kind of like, TransferWise?
No,
it's kind of like PayPal, just not really a PayPal. It gives you like online bank account where you can have a balance and you can transfer currencies and.
Honestly, I need more online only banking because like I have to go to Chase every time I open bank accounts, and I don't want to.
I think they're not in the US, or if they are, they started there pretty recent. They're yeah.
I mean, I love Chase and all, but like I don't want to go there every single time. It takes hours to set up an account. It's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it. And I was like, before, if I leave, like I feel like you want to set up like a bunch of bank accounts just in case, like if you leave the country, because then you can't go to Chase elsewhere. And then I was like, then I'd have to sit there for like hours, and I don't really want to do that. Yeah. But I'll make do. We'll see. So this is a long one. I didn't read it. Once I have an LLC and an EIN, do I need to create a brand new PayPal, or is there a way to convert a foreign PayPal to USA? By the way, thank you for answering all my past questions. You've been a huge help. Ambrose McLaughlin.
Yeah. Hi, Ambrose. Good to see you here. I would recommend creating a new PayPal. I do not know of a way to convert it into USP. Essentially, right now I have two PayPals. I have one from the Czech Republic from before, and I have my US PayPal as well.
So create a new one?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like I've had, it's not like you get like seasoned PayPal accounts really from what I've seen. So it kind of just seems like there's no harm in just getting started again with a new one.
Yeah.
All right. So that one's answered. Express Baba says, try boundless Shopify theme. That's for the person that has a Shopify. No clue if that's good. It could be a terrible suggestion for all I know. Seb says, how do you verify your US PayPal?
Yeah. So depending, like there's certain tiers of verifications. You need to verify your phone number. I discussed that in the course. You need to verify your bank account, which you will get a regular bank account. The main difference essentially of getting a regular bank account and having for example, Revolut or TransferWise or Payoneer is that with all these solutions, you don't get a debit card with the US zip code. Meaning, if they want to verify the card and you have a billing address in a foreign country, they're not going to accept it. So you need to verify it with a bank account, you need to verify it with a US phone number, and you need to verify it with a US credit card or debit card.
Huh. So basically, you just have a debit card. There's no credit cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Essentially, this ties up to the ITIN question. With ITIN, you are potentially able to open a line of credit, but I think you're still only able to do that if you visit the US in person and if you present it
the bank there in person and stuff.
That's where ITIN would become helpful, but other than that, you don't really need it.
Huh. Is America really, why are we the only country that has credit cards? Just because we like to make people think they can pay for things they can't and then get them in debt forever?
I think that's the thing, yeah.
That's the American way. What a great system, honestly.
It helps you guys a lot in terms of, being able to do the e-com and push it as far as you guys can, especially with
for sure. Credit cards are definitely very helpful, but the one thing that I would say, just having lived in America my entire life, is that nobody teaches you except for your parents. If your parents do teach you how to use them, and most people don't know how to use them, and they see like a couple $1,000s every month, they're like, yeah, I can spend all this, and then they spend it all, and then they get themselves in perpetual debt at like 23% interest rate, and they're absolutely screwed. So make sure that you have the money to actually pay off your credit card, or else it's not going to work very well.
That's something that you need to kind of work around if you're international, because you won't, unless you have somebody in the US who kind of allows you to use their credit cards, you won't have a line of credit. So you need to kind of think of the cash flow and how to approach this. You cannot just sell $30,000 worth of stuff in the first month and cancel 90% of it because you don't have the money, and you'll have to wait, especially if you have new PayPal, you need to wait until the item gets delivered and so on. But
yeah, that makes sense.
On the other hand, you can enjoy not being taxed in the US, which is a big, I think, advantage compared to like American sellers, because especially if they're based in like California and stuff, I think Tom can take over for that.
Not a very great tax amount, especially probably coming up in the next couple months to the rest of the next 4 years. You might be.
What I was touching on is like there's some disadvantages, but there's some advantages as well. So
yeah, I mean it's a balancing act, but it does make sense that if you might need a little bit more to play with to get started, and or start slowly. It's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I started slowly. I was doing a few thousand in sales first year, and then
And then also people don't always, or at least people in America don't always realize, if you're in another country where the American or the US dollar goes a lot further, like if you make let's say you make $10 and you live in the Philippines or whatever, so you're doing in the Philippines, then it's a lot more money no matter what. Like it goes a lot further, and you can do a lot more with it, where here it's not that much. So that's also a great advantage to it. Good live chat as always. Thank you, LD. And then how do you, well, I don't know if this has nothing to do with being international or not. How do you deal with damaged items? I mean, there's no real, for me to answer this, it's pretty much if the item's damaged and somebody has a question about it, make sure they send you images. If you're selling on Amazon, it's very hard to get them to respond to you most of the time. They don't usually even know they're there, that you're there, and you can message back and forth. But just try your hardest, and then just
it always depends on what supplier you're using as well. If it's you can have a what's it called, like set up an address, like a virtual mailbox in the US. You can have people always scan your package, show you the contents of it. If you want to do it that way, if you have a friend in the US, you can set up their address as the return address as well. They can be handling these packages for you. There's always a way. Like,
what about returns and stuff too? If somebody like accidentally sends it back it would go to your like registered agent address, wouldn't it?
Sometimes, depends how you set it up. Right now, I have everything channeled to my friend's address.
Yeah.
So he's like taking care of that.
Okay, that makes sense.
If I didn't have anybody in the US, I teach in the course how to set up a virtual address in the US. I think that would be really helpful on Amazon if you don't have anybody else to handle these packages. And these companies work on a basis where you would choose a place where you want to have your address in, and then every time you get a mail, they're just going to take a picture for you of the package. And they're going to essentially do whatever you want them to do with it, and repackage it, ship it somewhere else.
So essentially, they could ship it back to your supplier. That kind of just came together in my brain as you were saying that. I was like, oh, it does make sense. So it's just like one little added extra step to the entire process. I mean,
how often do you get the packages sent to your house?
Very rarely. So like when Amazon did an update in like September 1st, where you couldn't like choose that you wanted to use your own labels, and then you had to override everything. But what I realized is if the item was sold, like say you were a little late on it and you uploaded all the overrides like September 14th instead of September 1st. If it sold like September 2nd, even though you had already overrided it and somebody asked for a return, those kind of slipped through the cracks. Yeah. So I did get a few items back to my house or to my apartment. A little inconvenient because my apartment's not that large, and there was a massive box that came in. I was like, oh God. But minus that, it's very rare. If you're selling like a lot, like I was on eBay, like $130,000 a month, like back in 2018, some people you'll realize just take the liberty to find your address and send it back to you without even opening up a return. But those are like the one-off, very rare cases. Nothing to be worried about, I would say. All right, so next question here is from Alex. He said just call him Alex, so I don't have to butcher it anymore. Talk about stealth accounts on managed payments on eBay, and maybe give us some clues on how to improve our margins for those that don't have the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace. Do you know anything about stealth accounts?
Not a lot, no.
Yeah, me either.
Essentially, the way I would approach it as an international, because when you call eBay and you're American, they're going to ask you a lot of these questions because they have a register of names and addresses and stuff like that. They ask.
Oh, you're not on it. Oh God.
Yeah, and if you're not American, you essentially tell them that you don't live in the United States. For that reason, they don't have any register to pull up, so they're just going to verify the information that you provided on the account. And if you want to start over on eBay, you just create a new company and follow probably the stealth book is, I think, the best resource for that. Yeah. I mean, but obviously it gets a lot more costly if you're an international, because you have to open a new LLC, you have to, and then you're still at the risk that somehow you're going to mess up in the middle of it, and the account's going to get connected, and you're not going to be able to use that new LLC for that either. So you need to be really careful if you're an international, but there's definitely the way to do it is doing your LLC. Yeah.
The stealth book definitely teaches you step by step, like kind of how to make sure things don't get connected. But again, I'm not sure with managed payments. I don't think the stealth book has updated with managed payments yet. I'm not sure if they have or if they plan to. No clue. I don't really talk with them. It's like one of the only people I haven't like built a relationship with. And then how to improve your margins for those that don't have the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, one option would be getting tax exempt with your suppliers. Another option would be getting a US PayPal for handling transactions outside of Facebook. That way you have lower fees as well.
What I would say also is, like doing some form of a bundle, or like this has nothing to do with like whether you're international or not, like bundle listings where maybe it's $35 at your supplier and higher, like Walmart, to get free shipping. One of them is under $35, but if you put two together, then it is above $35. So then your two bundle or your multi-pack is then, it looks more advantageous, things like that. That's usually the way that I see it, just making your listing better in general and just going out of your way to find items that not everybody else is selling. With Facebook, it's definitely very different. So, and I mean, I don't think that the margins are so high on Facebook, no matter what, that it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So what's the next one? How do you get this is, I mean, a little bit of a roundabout question, but how do you get tax exempt to buying? How do you get tax exempt to buy items that you're drop shipping, basically?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can answer it, Lucas.
Same process as American would do it. This doesn't really change for international. The only thing you need to do differently is filling out the forms. Essentially, you need to, as opposed to approaching eBay and Amazon, where you're trying to appear as if you're in the US, just to make them feel better. When you're dealing with the Department of Revenue, you always want to be very truthful about where you're located and stuff. But it's the same process of getting tax exempt in the US.
Okay, that makes sense. Wait, there's some tomfoolery going on in the comments here down below. I just had to hide a few people. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. All right, so we'll move on. Anyway, what is it? Anyway, any way you can do your streams earlier for people in the UK? No, sorry. It might not happen. Maybe I'll do something on Saturday or something, but this is the time frame. I'm sorry to break it to you.
I also had to wake up early, so.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make sacrifices in life, and honestly, the sacrifice for you is following my schedule, and that's exactly I do Friday at 7 p.m. Pedro says, "What's the process?" So, what's the process, and how does one go about it as an international? We pretty much already answered all this, did we not?
Yeah. So you need to set up an LLC. That's pretty much the first step. Once you have that, you can open up and get your EIN. You get your bank account. Once you have that, you can set up your PayPal. Once you have that, you can start selling, and then you obviously get tax exempt using your EIN data and everything.
Yeah, and then you can apply for wholesale suppliers with it and everything else.
If you want to have a step-by-step process, we've talked about it as well. I have a course that goes through this step-by-step. If you message me, I'll get you a discount as well to get in.
Okay, so send them a message on Instagram or Facebook. What do you like better?
Yeah, Instagram is better.
Instagram's the best. DM them. Send them a DM. I just broke my pen. Destroyed the thing. What payment methods can you use as international to buy goods from U.S. retailers except Amazon? So we kind of went over that, didn't we not?
What payment methods can you use? Well, you can use your American debit card once you have it.
What about a PayPal debit card? Can you do that?
I have it, actually, but I'm not sure if they're going to issue it. I think they messed up, and I think I got it by accident, but I'm not complaining about it. But yeah, I have it.
We won't mention that then. Do you need a VPN or proxy to use Facebook Marketplace with dropshipping? This is Nikos. He's from Greece, so I don't know.
Yeah, I tried that. It did not work all by itself. So I have, essentially, I'm just sending listings to my business partner, and she uploads them. We go about it that way so far.
Where are we? Ambrose says, also want to thank Tom. Finally started making sales and discovering new suppliers. It's somewhat tough to balance as a college student, but it's getting there. There you go, man. I appreciate it. It's all about balance. In college, not going to lie, I partied a lot, but if you sacrifice and actually put the work in, I didn't really know any of this stuff existed. I kind of did. But I thought engineering was just what I was going to do. And it's not. So I definitely put the work in. You can always find extra hours. And for people saying that they don't have extra time, I always tell this to anybody. Like my mom was saying that the other day. I go, check your iPhone and swipe all the way over and see how many hours you spent on that device today, because it tracks everything, and you'll be appalled at the number, and then tell me that you don't have time, because you do. It just reshut. Alexander Tomolini's on here. I haven't seen you in a while. That's Jason's cousin. I don't know. Jason just bought a plot of land in New Hampshire, 24 acres. He's going to be a farmer. I have no idea where he's at. I think he just had a meeting or something.
Maybe dropshipping some crops.
I don't know what he's up to. He just wants privacy, I guess. He's a big privacy guy. Do you know why I'm not getting the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace? Honestly, not everybody has it. I went on a call with a woman the other day. She said she had been selling on it, more than a few times, and like her children's old clothes and stuff. And she said that she didn't have it. I saw her. She showed it to me. I mean, just list some items up, sell things from around your house if you're in the U.S. If not, just you can list other items up and list them at like a very high price, and just get the whole listing thing going. You don't even have to sell them, and it should show up. I don't see why it wouldn't show up. Like, it's a very iffy system. Nobody knows. There's no answers out there.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's only Americans that have it, and not all of them have it either. So
Canada, I guess somebody in the group said that they're from Canada and they have it too. Like,
okay.
Only one person though, and then all the other Canadians said they didn't have it. No clue. Again, I'm not sure. And they talk about Thailand and stuff too in there. If you look into their terms of service and stuff, again, I'm not sure. I'm assuming the UK will get it. Australia will eventually get it, and then kind of go from there. So is an S Corp better than an LLC? I don't want to answer that question.
Yeah. So the main difference here would be, I would say it's not better, because once you have an S Corp, you need to start paying tax in the US, and that goes against sort of the benefits I talked about before. In some cases, for example, if you want to dropship on Walmart, if you want to be seller on Walmart, you need to have S Corp. If you're an international, there's some other situations where it might make more sense, but once you definitely switch from an LLC to an S Corp, you need to start paying tax in the US. That's the main difference.
If you're in the US, it definitely might be more advantageous to have an S Corp, but again, I'm not a tax professional here. So contact somebody. If you're in the US, contact a CPA or some sort of somebody who knows taxes, and you should be set in the right direction on it. But things change. I think the S Corp the advantage of being an S Corp really only came about in like 2017, and who knows what happens. It changes every single presidency usually, if that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. For all these type of questions, it's just better. It's always better to discuss, a tax attorney.
Yeah, 100%. So Equity Digital says, for Amazon dropshipping, what would you recommend doing for 90 days to avoid new account suspensions? I personally don't think you should sell very much. You have a newer account recently, right?
Yeah. I started selling about 4 months ago, or 3 months ago, and I just made sure for the first 2 months I stayed below 10K. And now it's month 4 I do about 25 per month. So
yeah, you scaled it. I mean, I always like to say more conservatively than that, mainly just because I feel like I got a large following. So if somebody gets banned because of it, I mean, it's really, it depends on how well you keep your metrics, honestly, because if you're not keeping up with your metrics, then that's going to be the number one thing. So say you only sell 2,000, but you're not keeping up with your metrics, or your software is all screwed up. You sell like 12 items that are out of stock. You have to cancel them. You don't know how to cancel them properly. You don't cover yourself. Like, you're going to get screwed. So it really depends on how well you run your store more than how much you sell. Because there is velocity reviews, but that was something that I heard a lot more about like 2-3 years ago, and you don't really hear about them as much anymore. So I'm not too sure. Lucas says he sold 10,000 first couple months, and then now you're at 25. So just be conservative. Another thing about growing your accounts too fast, one thing I always say is that when you grow it too fast, if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're a beginner, then you don't have the processes in place, and maybe you have like 25 sales that day and you go, oh, I can't process them or get everything done. Things start falling through the cracks. Customers get mad at you. You get bad metrics. And then all of a sudden it's a never ending cycle.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right.
Especially if you're a beginner, just always start small and work up from there.
100%. So we got, 15 minutes left. We're going to go an hour on this one. Ask your final questions. We got a decent amount left that we should, that we're going to go a little bit faster through here. And then, so be sure to smash that like button. Let's get as many likes as possible on this one. I do believe that this video is going to take off after the live. as much as just because there's going to be so many people that are internationals looking at this. So smash it. Let's get it out to as many people as possible. What is it? Do you select the option to allow offers on your Facebook listings? I don't even have the option to allow offers on my Facebook listings. And do you have that? I don't have that.
I think I have it, but I do not allow offers. Same as eBay. Like, fuck the offers.
No, it's definitely a pain. It's like I've allowed offers on eBay like twice, and I made, it made good profit because somebody wanted more than one, and like the shipping and stuff allotted for it. But usually the number one thing I've always learned in business is, cut out things that are going to waste your time more than it's going to make you money. Offers, tire kickers, as we call them in the marketing world, people that are going to always tell you, oh yeah, I want to buy it, and they never do. You just avoid that at all costs. And that's what offers is going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess
if you have really big margins, I guess it does make sense.
Yeah.
I would do offers only if somebody messages me and asks for it specifically, and if it don't make sense financially, I allow them to. I accept a smaller amount, but that's the exception.
Yeah, it's very rare. So where are we? Thanks for sharing, guys. Anyways, mind sharing how much you guys. Thanks for sharing, guys. Anyways, mind sharing how much you guys earn a month from Facebook Marketplace. So you just started, right, Lucas?
Yeah. We just started adding listings a couple of days ago. So yeah.
Yeah, so I have like multiple accounts going. My mom's account just hit like $2,000 this month. We have a couple others that are going out there, and I try to keep everything as private as possible. My personal account can't even be used on Facebook. The other couple have done like 1,000 each. Again, it's like I have so many things in the fire right now that like that's enough for me for proof of concept and making sure that everything works. And I like on my mom's account, the one that's making the most money, I just pay her or I give her half of it. So it's more about like she doesn't really work. She's kind of retired, pretty much retired. So at that point in time, it's like it's something for her to do,
Yeah. I feel like there's also a lot more opportunities as far as Facebook opening up and Walmart opening up to new sellers as well. There's so many things that you can do right now. It's kind of hard to stay on track with all of them.
Yeah, it's very exciting too because like I don't know if you felt it, but I kind of felt, like I've been doing eBay for 3 years. Amazon is just like gets harder and harder every single day to try to make something, it's just so hard to contact customers, to get customer service through and across. And it's such a pain that, you kind of get dragged down by that, burdened down by that. And I'm kind of excited that, more platforms are coming out, especially ones that are, Walmart's hard to get an account on, but Facebook Marketplace is like the easiest thing to start up and start selling on, that it like not only was exciting for me, but for like people that don't want to get a business right off the bat or like don't know how to do anything. It's like a very training wheels version of getting started.
Also, another thing for the Shopify sellers in here, TikTok just introduced their advertising platform. So they're going to have their own TikTok pixel, and you'll be able to, they're going to try to compete with Facebook on that. So that should be interesting as well. See how that pans out.
I wonder if you get banned as much as you would on Facebook ads. I hate Facebook ads. It's like, that's the big difference. It's terrible. What dropship platform do you recommend is the best? There's definitely no best. It's really about personally, it's all about what you prefer. What do you think?
Yeah, it's what you prefer, and also whichever platform doesn't ban you at the moment. So I would say like if you're just beginning, I think it's good if you just focus on one platform and you really get the skill set necessary to branch out to other platforms. But once you're at a level where you're confident to dropship on eBay and Amazon at the same time, you should definitely do that, because I feel like when your business depends on or is just concentrated in one platform, they can always ban you for whatever reason. It can not even be a good reason as well. And so you just don't want to be, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, pretty much.
Exactly. You don't want your eggs in one basket. You want multiple streams of income. Not saying you're doomed to get banned, like it's going to happen, but crazier things have happened, and you always want to be protected or protecting yourself at all points in time. Like, the selling on as many places as possible. Once you learn that platform, the idea and the premise of dropshipping never changes. It's literally just selling items from a supplier onto platforms and then providing them the tracking number and making sure you make money. It's the same across all platforms. You just need to little intricacies, and then from there you just move to a new platform. So Christian says, is most of your business focused in the US? I feel like you already asked this one, Christian. I take it the US is the best marketplace due to the ease of sourcing and less associated fees and costs of doing business, ?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. So most of my business actually does come from the US, most of my income. When I'm selling them into German-speaking markets, then on Shopify, it might change for a month or two. But it's not always, it's not as stable as dropshipping on marketplaces, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like the US, there's so many people and everybody just like loves to buy things, unnecessary things for their life that they
credit cards, man.
do not need. Yeah, with their credit cards that they can't then pay for, and then they're stuck in debt. I mean, it's the American way. It's what we do. So you got Kay in here. How's it going, Tom? It's going great. Thank you for showing up. Mohammed says, can I ask customers to pay me? Okay. Can I ask customers to pay me using PayPal on Facebook Marketplace dropshipping? Does it work? So I want to answer this one first. You definitely can. One thing I want to say is that if you're in the US or if you're selling on Facebook Marketplace US and you're telling people to pay you through PayPal, you need to realize that that's the same thing as like messaging somebody on eBay and saying, oh, just pay me through PayPal. Let's avoid eBay. Like, they're clearly, the Facebook Messenger is very easy for them to actually look through and go through and be able to see. So if you have the ability to ship items and you're in the US, do not try to sell them through PayPal, because that's literally considered avoiding fees. And there are no fees until the end of the year, yes. But you have to realize from Facebook's point of view, like that's you trying to skirt around paying them 5% once the fees come out. If you're in another country and there is no shipping option, that's what, we definitely suggest doing. I'm not sure if you have any other input on that one. Pretty much.
What you said.
They are in the UK and they are good, best preferred. I thought you could open up accounts on Chase websites. Is that not the case? I don't know. I tried to open up business bank accounts on Chase, and they said that I had to go into the office last time. So I opened up 3, and now I need more. So I'm going to need a couple more. Which American-based online bank company would you recommend? Is that something you want to divulge, or is that inside of the course information?
It's inside of the course. I'm just going to give out Relay Financial. It's the most sophisticated, probably. You need an invite though, but it's manageable to get in if you want to.
Okay. Zlatan says, oops, clicked the wrong one. Hi, I'm an American citizen currently stuck in Europe. That's too bad. And I'm having trouble opening up a US bank account for dropshipping purposes. Any advice on how to open up an account from abroad? Thanks. Do you have any information on this, or is that the same?
I feel like for personal bank account, unless you already have a bank account in the US and your bank has a branch in whatever country you're in, you might be able to open an account through the branch in the foreign country. But otherwise, I think it's pretty much impossible to open up a US personal bank account from abroad without showing up in person.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with the US bank account in person thing is that it's like an anti-terrorist act.
Yeah. It might be different since Zlatan is a US citizen, but
even for like me being a US citizen, like they always make you be there, and then they always ask you how are you making your money and where is it going? And I was don't worry. It's online. What marketplace do you sell in the US and which in your country internationally? Christian, we've answered this question. Have we not?
Yeah. So again, eBay, Amazon, and starting to branch out into Walmart and Facebook in the US, as far as the US goes, and internationally through Shopify into Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and all that.
Okay. This is actually a good question. Regarding verifying US PayPal, what do you do when they ask for a social security number? So that was one thing when Jason and I created a bank business account, a joint PayPal business account. They asked for a social security number, and I was like, I don't want to give that to you because this is a joint account. And why would I want mine on there if, we have 50-50? So I think I just bitched the lady out, and she made me just not put it on there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they always give you the option to either put SSN or ITIN. Like I said, I didn't get an ITIN for myself, so I didn't give it to them either. So I just contacted the customer support. They asked for my passport just to verify who I was. I was on the phone with them. They sent me a special link. I uploaded the passport through that, and then they were quiet about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I called them too and complained. If PayPal does
the last resort is to always get an ITIN. It takes a few months to get, which is annoying. But again, it's just another number that you have at your disposal. So last resort, you can get an ITIN, but you can also just talk to them and avoid it if you don't want to give it to them.
Yeah, just complain. Always complain. Hi guys, can you explain about social security number? If I have it as an international student, how's it affecting me? Internationals can't get social security numbers, can they? I think this is isn't that a US thing? Okay. I didn't figure out all the taxes responsibilities I'll have now in the US. I'm not, do you have a social security number? I have no clue.
Is she American?
I don't know.
Elizabeth.
I have it as an international student. Do you have to be born in the U.S. to get a social security number, or do you just have to be a U.S. citizen?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't even know the own rules. If you are charging shipping and the buyer returns the item due to remorse, do you refund the original shipping cost? eBay is telling me I have to. That is, so if you're charging shipping, this is something that I ran across when I started charging shipping on some items. If you're charging shipping and the buyer returns it, there's literally an on-off thing, like should you refund shipping or should you not? And then you just don't. I don't know why they're telling you have to. Any other input on that one?
I don't charge shipping on eBay, but on Amazon, they always give you the option.
Yeah, Amazon's the same way. And I'm not sure how long eBay's had it because I hadn't always charged shipping, but there are some instances where I do now. So I definitely have realized it. How do you override the Amazon auto return stuff? You need to upload a spreadsheet that I provide inside of the Amazon course that says that every single item is overweight and cannot be returned or cannot have an automatic return label created for it. At that point in time, you can upload your own and your own RMA number. So this is where I blocked these two. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I kind of found as a strategy to sell on Facebook Marketplace, but without the shipping option is a little bit hard. I kind of found a strategy to sell on Facebook Marketplace without, it's definitely it's not easy. We have multiple students that are in Australia. It seems like Australia and the UK are like the people that are taking the action on it. We have a student in Australia that said in the first 6 weeks, he did like 1.8 thousand in profits, almost 2K. And we have other students in the UK that are doing pretty well. And we have one student that was commenting a lot on the YouTube videos, also from Australia, that did not have the shipping option. It's more work, but it is what it is, you know. Thanks for all your hard work and dedication to your fans. You're the best. Thank you. Just to clarify, for Canadian Facebook dropshipping, most of us get the shipping option, but not at checkout. Okay, so you actually did help me out on that one. So it's weird. I don't understand that. Like you get the shipping option, but not at checkout. So people don't actually get the shipping option, or you do get the shipping option. I don't live in Canada. Yeah. Neither of us live in Canada. How do you find winning products? I don't know if that's the scope of where we're at right now. I posted a few items on Facebook Marketplace. Everybody lowballs and wants to meet in person. How do you handle this? So you want the shipping option. Therefore, they don't want to meet in person. And if they lowball you, you don't have to accept it. But the majority of what I've seen, if you have the shipping option, is that there's going to be a bajillion people that message you, and literally almost none of them will ever buy. There's very few of them will buy that message you. The ones that actually buy, they just buy it and they don't ever message you, and then you see an order. I'm not sure if that's what you've seen, Lucas, but that's exactly what I've seen, and what I've seen a lot of people talking about in the Facebook group. So is eBay dropshipping still going good? For me, it is. How's your eBay stores?
I'm actually creating new accounts right now through a new LLC. So I'll get back on track soon. So it's in the process. Yeah. Guys, thanks guys for this friendly, informal, yet very informative session. You're welcome, Express Baba. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Have you done drop shipping in Asia, India, Malaysia, etc.? Is there a market there? If so, what marketplaces?
There's definitely, so I'm in Indonesia right now. There's like 7 alternatives to eBay and Amazon. So there's definitely some dropshippers already. It's mostly locals. I have no idea how profitable it is or it isn't, mainly because I've never really tried to dig into that because I've been busy with US marketplaces. But it's definitely happening here. There's Tokopedia, Lazada, you have Shopee. There's bazillion platforms right now. Everyone is trying to kind of compete for the market share. So we'll see which one of these will make it in the end and which ones are just going to shut down.
Which one dominates?
Yeah.
Is it better to start on eBay or Shopify? I definitely suggest eBay, mainly because
100% eBay, especially if you have like no online sales experience.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. There's so many moving parts with Shopify that like all the moving parts that are there with eBay are also there with Shopify, plus also much more moving parts that you don't want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Capital One 360 is 100% online based. Honestly, I need to look into that. I had no idea. I hate Facebook ads too. Yep, that's a given. Everybody does. What about online banks? I have 2 accounts.
It really depends on what bank they are. If it's, like I said, Revolut, if it's TransferWise, if it's Payoneer, they're not going to be, they're not an actual US bank account, and it's not going to be accepted by PayPal.
Okay.
So it really depends on which online banks you're talking about.
Yeah. What's this? What marketplace is the best to start dropshipping on? Honestly, personally, I think nowadays, if you're in the US and you have the shipping option, Facebook Marketplace is by far the easiest to get started on, but it's not going to give you the experience to say, like, I used to say start on eBay, then go to Amazon. Like if you go Facebook Marketplace to Amazon, I feel like you're just going to get like eaten up right away. Like you'll have no idea what's going on. So you'd have to do like Facebook, then eBay, then Amazon. I believe what's your opinion?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, eBay's probably for international is the best way to start because of the shadow banning on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
But as far as how the platform is going to be forgiving, I would definitely say eBay is the way to go.
Yeah, eBay seems to give a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
Can you provide EIN instead of social security number or ITIN? What is this in regards to? PayPal?
Yeah, that's for the PayPal verification. You can. It's not on the same page. You essentially, if you're being asked SSN or ITIN, you can go into settings. I don't know exactly where it is in the settings, but you essentially just like to submit your tax ID for your company and you put EIN there. That's what I did. I'm not quite sure if I had to verify my passport before or after, but yeah, you can provide EIN, but I think you can provide EIN instead of SSN or ITIN. That's what I did, but they still ask for my passport. I think that's the best way to answer.
All right. This question is, I'm from France. Can I dropship in America? We answered yes. If you were here on this the entire live, the answer is yes. NM says, how much do you need to start? I'll answer if you're in America, and then you can answer if you're in international. If you're in America, I mean, personally, I think you need at least $1,000 or $500 to $1,000, mainly because most of these platforms nowadays, almost all the ones that I talk about, you need to actually, they hold your money for a bit. eBay is going to hold your money or PayPal is going to hold your money. If you're still using PayPal, eBay managed payments holds your money for like 1 to 2 days. So that's going to be the quickest release of your money, but Facebook Marketplace holds it for like 5+ days. And then Amazon holds it for, like 2 weeks. So if you're selling, say, $100 item, yes, technically they are paying you to go buy the item, but there's a leeway, or there's a time difference between actually getting that money. So that's where credit cards come in handy and or having cash. So you do need some money. Software costs as well. Yeah. Really not that expensive. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I would say this is the same for internationals as well. As far as your sales go, you need to always kind of keep track of how much money you have at your disposal, and then just not try to sell too much too quickly.
Yeah, you gotta stay on top of everything. All right, I just realized we are over the hour, so we're going to speed through these last questions here. Try not to run out of steam, and be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible before we quit for the night, and then we'll move on. Is there a repricer you got for Facebook Marketplace? I'm making SKUGrid make one at the moment. Not really. Regarding the Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, do you guys have a solution for the shadow bans? I've definitely noticed it's a real thing. I'm not sure at the moment. One thing I have noticed is that the trick that we teach you in the group, in the course, Christian, about how to find the right pictures to be using for your items definitely is one of the main things that I've seen in getting a lot of views on my sales, on my items. That's been the number one thing. Is it better to sell products in your country or to ship abroad in the UK? What do you think?
It really depends on what platform you're on, or if you're selling through Shopify. If you have some good suppliers in your country, I say go ahead and do it. If you don't, I would probably choose a marketplace and market where also your suppliers are based, because it's always the best option to have suppliers and customers in the same country, so you avoid all the hassle of customs and international shipping times and stuff like that.
Yeah, the one thing I've always said, if you live in the US, sell in the US. If you live in the UK, sell in the UK. If you live in Australia, sell in Australia. I think Germany has a pretty big market as well. But like other than that, if you're in a country that doesn't have a very big market, that's where you would want to go and look into creating, accounts in other markets. Should you focus on one category of products, like a page just listing stuff for cars, or sell any product that makes money? That's really up to you. Personally, I think that the more general store is definitely very good for like the eBay, Amazon, stuff like that, Facebook Marketplace. But if you're going to start selling on Shopify pages, it seems like people decide to niche down a lot more.
Yeah.
I currently run a resale business on eBay now. Is it smart for me to start drop shipping on the same account? I mean, based off eBay being so easy to create a new account, you can definitely, make another one. Feedback does not matter. A lot of people are worried about feedback, and that does not matter. So if that's what's stopping you, then don't let it stop you. So with Facebook Marketplace, you need to shop to start selling. No, you can use your personal profile. Do you need Zik Analytics or other services to find profitable products? You can use Zik Analytics. It helps. You do not necessarily 100% need it. But if you have the money, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
How do I get the Facebook Marketplace course? Check the description down below. It's literally in the description where it says Facebook Marketplace Dropshipping course with a flying money emoji next to it. We need alternatives to eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, other platforms out there. Sears, sell on Sears. You'll make a killing. Received 2 orders from a buyer with different addresses and phone numbers. Sent 3 messages to confirm if it was an error and no response. Would you fill them? I would fill it. If you spent 3 messages, either they're stupid or that was on purpose. So they could be stupid, but it does happen. And, they sometimes are sending one to themselves and then one to their friend or something like that, or they're drop shipping your items. What is the minimum profit per item you should look for? Is there any point going for something, selling loads, but for only £1? Is that a pound? Is that a pound symbol? Profit. I don't go off of amount of profit. I go off percentage. So I don't know. Is that what you do, Lucas?
I would not go mostly lower than $3. But yeah, usually it's either 10% is the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, if you sell higher price items, you'll be making more money and making more.
I've noticed that also it's kind of my approach, because I know Tom has been, doing this quite differently. I always try to sell lower amount of items, but with higher margins, because it's less amount of work for sometimes the same money. So yeah, it's. I think it depends on your personal taste and what kind of items you're looking for and what kind of margins you're willing to accept. I mean, I've had some items I know I did for lower than 10% and lower than $3.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, you have some items that are selling a lot and just become pain in the ass, so you just get rid of them. It really depends on, you definitely also want to have some balance in this as well. You don't want to just sell high ticket items
Depends on what platform you're on as well. Like
Exactly.
if you're only selling 2 high ticket items a day and on Amazon and somebody leaves you a negative feedback, that's going to really hit your ODR rate.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right answer for this. It really just depends on what you find you're more good at, what suits you more.
100%. So let's finish up these. We're almost done here. Hi, Tom. My Facebook Marketplace account is placed on hold because the tax verification has been 3 days. Is there a way to follow up with them? You can try to follow up on the Facebook app on your phone, but I've heard of people saying it could take up to a week or so. So just hold in there and you'll be fine. In Facebook Marketplace, do you recommend many products or just fews, but good? I think with Facebook Marketplace, you're going to need more items because eventually your good ones will fall off in the amount of views that they get. You can renew them, but there's a lot of glitches with that system at the moment. Technically right now, I think you should just have more items, but it's up to you. Can we get the federal can we just get just the federal FEIN and register myself as sole proprietorship with the IRS? I'm hoping that's what that meant.
I believe, I'm not sure. I don't want to answer this, but you can just get the EIN and have, like, I recommend having an LLC. I'm not sure how to get the sole proprietorship if you're not living in the US. I know some people got EINs without LLCs, but I don't know how they did it, and I don't know if that's a good thing to do.
I mean, the EIN is technically all you need to like apply to these wholesale suppliers. You don't need an LLC. All I know in the US, if you want to get an EIN and a sole proprietorship, you have to you do it under like your social security number. So if you're international, I have no clue.
Yeah,
that's where my knowledge ends. So Christian says, thanks guys. I'll definitely check you out more once it's time to expand internationally. Shipping times. Very important. Thanks, guys, for all the help. Please keep giving back to starters. Need people like you. Thank you very much. Is the business of dropshipping reaching saturation? That's the most asked question I've ever gotten. There's no such thing as saturation if you're good at what you do. If there's a million people trying to play basketball and make it to the NBA, is that saturated? Or if you suck, are you just not going to make it? Like if you're good at what you do, saturation doesn't usually matter.
Also, the thing that we discussed is that there's so many, like this dropshipping always evolves. You have now new platforms opening up. And so if you can say maybe eBay is more saturated than Facebook Marketplace, in that sense, yes. But as far as dropshipping goes, there's always going to be arbitrage on the market. And so it really just depends on where you find your spot.
Yeah. And it's like, even if there's a lot of people selling on eBay, if you just go and find other suppliers, then you're
exactly. That means nothing.
Sales. But of course, eBay's not as popular as it once was. Things change, popularity, wanes and comes in and out. It really all depends. I would never say that something's saturated though in the e-commerce world. I'm Brazilian. I need a US account to make dropshipping in the US. Yes, right?
It's recommended. Yeah, you don't have to if you really want to stick with your Brazilian account, but you're going to lose out on a lot of fees and currency conversions.
All right. So we're pretty much done. Ecom Tomcat says £1 profit is way too low. Find something where you can make more pounds. The higher, the better. It's true, but also volumes of sales does also matter. And then thanks for the content. That's awesome. So thank you guys very much. Do you have any last words, Lucas? Be sure to follow Lucas on YouTube if you're watching and Instagram. Ask him any questions. I'm going to put the link to his actual to the international training that he has. It's on Udemy, and he said that if you DM him, you'll get a coupon, I believe. Yeah, you're going to get a discount. Essentially that's it. I'll be covering on my channel all these kind of obstacles that you need to overcome as an international. So if you fall into that category, I definitely recommend to subscribe. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out either on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. Alrighty. All right. So we'll end the broadcast now. Thank you all for showing up on a Friday night. I'm sure you all were very busy. Or Saturday mornings. Yeah. I appreciate it all. Or Saturday morning. Yes. All right. See you guys.